What happened next in this small-town coffee shop will absolutely shatter your heart, and then put it back together again. A shy 19-year-old barista notices something heartbreaking about the tired mom in front of her. She makes a split-second decision. That changes everything, but here is what will blow your mind. That simple blueberry muffin, it wasn't just breakfast, it was her first meal in 3 days. Stay with me, because what happens at the end of this story will restore your faith in humanity. Forever, let me paint you a picture of Sarah Chun, a 19-year-old college student working her way through school at Moonbeam Coffee, a cozy little shop in downtown Springfield. Sarah was what you'd call the invisible kind of person, the one who noticed everything but rarely spoke up. She had these gentle brown eyes that seemed to see straight into people's souls but shed blush crimson if a customer so much as said thank you a little too enthusiastically every morning at 7:43 a.m., and I mean exactly 7:43, Sarah would arrive for her opening shift. She'd tie her apron with the same careful precision, arrange the pastries with the same loving attention, and brew the first pot of coffee like it was a sacred ritual. But this Tuesday morning felt different. Maybe it was the way the autumn light filtered through the shop windows, or maybe it was the universe preparing for something extraordinary, because at 8:17 a.m., the bell above the door chimed, and in walked a woman who would change Sarah's perspective on kindness forever. Her name was Maria Rodriguez, and if you looked closely, really closely, you could see the weight she was carrying. She had 3-year-old Sophia balanced on her hip, a diaper bag sliding off her shoulder, and exhaustion written in every line of her face. But it wasn't just tired mom exhaustion. This was something deeper, something that spoke of sleepless nights spent worrying about things no parent should have to worry about. Maria approached the counter with the kind of forced smile that people wear when they're trying to hold themselves together with sheer willpower. Her hands were shaking slightly, not from caffeine withdrawal, but from something much more serious. Just a small black coffee, please, Maria said, her voice barely above a whisper. She was digging through her purse with one hand while balancing Sophia with the other, counting out crumpled dollar bills and loose change. Sarah watched this unfold, and something inside her chest tightened. She'd been working at Moonbeam for 8 months, and she'd developed an almost supernatural ability to read her customers. The businessman who ordered a triple shot because he was dreading a presentation, the elderly woman who lingered over her tea because going home meant returning to an empty house, the teenager who paid for hot chocolate with quarters because it was all he had. But Maria was different. There was something about the way she counted those coins twice, 3 times, that made Sarah's heart skip. I thought it'll be 275, Sarah said softly, watching as Maria's face fell just a fraction. She was 50 cents short. Sorry, I thought I had. Maria started, her cheeks flushing with embarrassment. She began searching through her purse again, more frantically. This time, Sophia, sensing her mother's distress, started to whimper. This is where most people would say, no problem, just bring the 50 cents next time, or maybe even just take the 225 and move on. But Sarah wasn't most people. She was thinking about her own mother, who had worked 3 jobs to put Sarah through high school. She was thinking about the nights when dinner was cereal because payday was still 2 days away. She was thinking about dignity and pride, and how sometimes the smallest gestures create the biggest impact. But Sarah was also thinking about the display case of pastries beside her, specifically the blueberry muffins that were baked fresh that morning and would probably go stale by evening. You know what Sarah said, her voice gaining strength, that coffee comes with a complimentary pastry today. Would you like a blueberry muffin? They are really good with coffee. Maria looked up confused. Complimentary, it's our Tuesday special, Sarah lied smoothly, surprising herself with how natural it sounded. New promotion. We're trying out. The lie felt warm in her chest, like a small sun spreading light through her ribcage. Maria's eyes filled with tears so quickly that Sarah worried she'd somehow offended her, but then Maria whispered, thank you, that's very kind. Sarah handed over the coffee and the muffin, their fingers brushing for just a moment. In that brief contact, Sarah felt something pass between them, recognition maybe, or understanding. 2 people who knew what it meant to struggle, sharing a moment of pure human connection. Have a beautiful day, Sarah said, meaning every word. Maria found a corner table and sat down with Sophia, who immediately reached for the muffin with chubby toddler fingers. Maria broke off a small piece for her daughter, then took a bite herself, and that's when Sarah saw it, the way Maria closed her eyes as she chewed, the way her shoulders relaxed for the first time since Shed walked, in the way she seemed to savor, not just the taste, but the act of eating itself. Sarah had seen hungry people before, but this was different. This was someone who hadn't just skipped breakfast. This was someone who had been running on empty for days. The rest of Sarah's shift passed in a blur. She helped other customers clean the espresso machine, restocked the pastry case, but her eyes kept drifting to the corner table where Maria sat with Sophia, making that single muffin last as long as possible. When Maria finally got up to leave, she approached the counter one more time. "Excuse me," she said to Sarah, her voice stronger now. "I just wanted to thank you again. That muffin, it was exactly what we needed today." Sarah smiled, but something in Maria's tone made her pay closer attention. "I hope you don't mind me asking," Sarah said carefully, "but are you okay? I mean, really okay?" Maria's composure cracked just a little. We're going through a tough time. My husband lost his job 3 weeks ago, and we've been staying with my sister, but her lease is up, and we don't know where we're going to go, and I haven't been able to afford groceries." And she stopped, shaking her head. "I'm sorry, you don't need to hear all this." "Yes, I do," Sarah said firmly, "and I'm glad you told me." What Sarah did next would have surprised anyone who knew shy, quiet Sarah Chun. She reached under the counter and pulled out a paper bag, quickly filling it with muffins, bagels, and cookies. "These are day-old," she said, which was another lie. "We were just going to throw them away." Maria stared at the bag, then at Sarah. "I can't accept this." "You're not accepting charity," Sarah said, her voice gentle but firm. "You're helping us reduce food waste, and sometimes we all need a little help. There's no shame in that." She leaned across the counter and lowered her voice. "My mom always told me that kindness is never wasted. Maybe someday, when things are better for you, you'll help someone else. That's how it works." Maria took the bag with trembling hands. "How do I repay you?" "Pay it forward," Sarah said simply, "when you can." But here's where this story takes an incredible turn, because 6 months later, on a busy Saturday morning, Sarah was working her usual shift when a familiar face appeared at the counter. It was Maria, but she looked different, healthier, happier. She was wearing business attire and had a confident smile that reached her eyes. "Sarah," Maria said, and the joy in her voice made several customers turn around. "They've been hoping to see you." "Maria, how are you?" "How's Sophia?" "We're good, really good. David found a job, a better job than the one he lost. We have our own apartment now. Sophia's in preschool and thriving." Maria paused, her eyes sparkling. "And I wanted to tell you something." She leaned across the counter. "That day when you gave me the muffin, that was the first food I'd had in 3 days. I had been giving everything to Sophia, telling myself I wasn't hungry. I was so weak I could barely think straight. That muffin didn't just feed my body, it reminded me that there was still kindness in the world. It gave me the strength to keep going." Sarah felt tears pricking her eyes. "Maria, I wait, there's more." Maria reached into her purse and pulled out an envelope. "I got a promotion at work, and I've been thinking about what you said about paying it forward." She handed Sarah the envelope. Inside was a check for $500 made out to Moonbeam Coffee Customer Kindness Fund. "I want you to use this to help other people the way you helped me. Buy coffee for the person who's counting change, give away pastries to families who need them. Be the angel that you were for me." But the story doesn't end there, because Sarah's manager, who had overheard the entire conversation, was so moved that he officially started the Customer Kindness Fund, and word spread through social media about the shy barista who had changed a family's life with a simple blueberry muffin. The fund grew. Customers started adding their own donations. The local newspaper wrote an article, but more importantly, Sarah learned something that would stay with her forever. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness create the biggest ripples. You know what I love most about this story? It's not about grand gestures or life-changing amounts of money. It's about a 19-year-old college student who saw someone in need and chose kindness over indifference. It's about a mother who maintained her dignity while accepting help. It's about how a $3 muffin became a symbol of hope. Sarah could have followed the rules. She could have said, "Sorry, you're 50 cents short." She could have minded her own business. But she chose to see Maria really see her and act with compassion. And Maria could have been too proud to accept help. She could have walked away embarrassed. She could have forgotten the kindness once her situation improved. But she chose gratitude, and she chose to pay it forward. This story isn't unique because it happened to Sarah and Maria. It's unique because it could happen anywhere, anytime, between any two people who choose kindness over convenience. How many people walk past us every day carrying invisible burdens? How many times do we have the opportunity to be someone's Sarah, to offer a small kindness that might mean everything to someone else? The Customer Kindness Fund at Moonbeam Coffee is still going strong. 3 years later, they've helped hundreds of families. They've paid for groceries, car repairs, medical bills, and school supplies. All because one shy barista decided that a blueberry muffin was worth more than 50 cents in profit. But here's the thing that will really blow your mind. Sarah told me that she's received more than she's ever given. Every act of kindness has come back to her tenfold. She's made friends, found mentors, discovered her passion for social work, and learned that shyness doesn't have to mean silence when someone needs help. So I want to leave you with this challenge. Look around you today. Really look. See the tired parent in the grocery store counting coupons. Notice the elderly person struggling with heavy bags. Pay attention to the coworker who seems overwhelmed. You don't need a customer kindness fund to make a difference. You just need eyes that see, a heart that cares, and the courage to act. Maybe your kindness will be a cup of coffee for someone who's had a rough day. Maybe it'll be holding a door, offering a genuine compliment, or simply listening when someone needs to be heard. Because here's what Sarah learned, and what I hope you'll remember. Kindness isn't just about helping others. It's about creating a world where help is always available, where dignity is always preserved, and where nobody has to face their darkest moments alone. That shy barista gave away a free muffin and changed 2 lives forever, her own and Maria's. But the ripple effects of that one moment of kindness are still spreading, still growing, still inspiring others to choose compassion over indifference. What ripples will your kindness create? The only way to find out is to start making waves. And remember, sometimes the most powerful thing you can give someone isn't money or advice or solutions. Sometimes it's just the message that they matter, that they're seen, that they're not alone. Be someone, Sarah. Be the person who sees beyond the surface and acts with love. Because in a world that can sometimes feel cold and disconnected, your kindness might just be the warmth someone needs to keep going. And that, my friends, is how we change the world, one muffin, one moment, one choice at a time. If this story touched your heart, please share it. Let's create a movement of kindness that spreads far beyond this coffee shop. And if you have your own story of unexpected kindness, either given or received, share it in the comments below. Because these stories matter, these moments matter, and you matter. Thank you for watching, and remember, be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people.